Hello, this is Joaquin Lippincott here again with another AWS ISV interview for the media and entertainment industry. And today I am joined by Gary Ballabio, who is the head of technology partnerships at Cloudinary. Welcome to you, Gary.
Thank you so much, Joaquin. Great to be here.
For those not familiar with Cloudinary, do you want to give us the intro of what you guys do?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So for those not familiar, so Cloudinary is a media management platform. What we do is we provide a set of tools, APIs and a UI that allow you to essentially, I break it down into three categories. So one is on the creation of content, help you create new assets and new derivatives of assets, images and videos for the most part, help you organize the content. So how you structure them in terms of folders, how you make it searchable, how you be able to manage the metadata associated to those assets as well. And then optimization of the content as well. How do you ensure that the content is in the smallest possible file size while maintaining the actual visual quality of it? And there's lots of ways that we can create new content. There's lots of ways we can optimize the content. So we can crop content in a certain way. We can detect colors and change them. We can overlay other assets on top of an image. So overlay an image on top of an image and create a watermark, or overlay text on top of an image. There's all sorts of capabilities that we provide in that realm, even from an optimization standpoint, optimizing for the right format, or even being able to optimize for the actual encoding quality, so we can reduce the file as much as possible, and even center on the right part of the content that you want to be centered on. So it could be on on an object on the image, it could be off center, or it could be on a certain area of an image or a video as well. So these are all the things that we provide as an API or in the UI as well.
Okay, that makes sense. And so do you ever go by the digital asset manager or the media asset manager moniker?
Yes, we do. So we go by digital asset management description. We also sometimes describe ourselves as dynamic asset management because we are able to generate images and videos in real time. So even as an end user is requesting it as part of the application workflow, we can customize the content or even personalize the content for that end user in real time. So do things like incorporate what might be their favorite sports team or their favorite color, or maybe taking information about where they are physically and then incorporating a local currency or local language. There's a lot that we can do to basically provide this richer experience to the end user in real time, which really is what makes Cloudinary unique, to be able to provide that as an API for developers to embed us in their application and really provide this really richer experience to the end user.
That's fascinating. And digital asset manager, one of the things that's great about that as well is you don't lose any of those damn jokes. As a dad, I'm a big fan.
Oh yeah,
of all of those damn jokes.
We definitely go through a lot of our damn product, and yeah, right. Yeah.
Right. So how did you get involved? I know you guys are an AWS partner. How did you get involved in the AWS/cloud space?
Sure. So Cloudinary was born in the cloud. So the founders for Cloudinary were a group of engineers who were essentially encountering the same problem when they were building out websites and applications of needing to manipulate, modify content at scale. So similar in the way that I described, they were working on development of websites that were taking an influx of content every single day. And the manual modification of that content just wasn't working. And so they looked at different tools, that were available, at the time, didn't really quite fit their use case of really fast and quick manipulations. And so that's how Cloudinary was born. So essentially, it was all about modifying the URL for a specific file and then creating a new derivative or a brand new asset of that file. That's how Cloudinary was born. And with the processing and the storage involved, it just made complete sense. If you're going to build an application like this, you build it in AWS, and it's a cloud. It is a SaaS offering today, but it's a very natural way to provide the service, right, on the internet. So that's how Cloudinary was born. And it's evolved since then as well. And as you evolve the service offerings, Cloudinary started around images. It evolved to videos. It evolved to digital asset management. Mm-hmm. And all of our services are cloud-based services. And it just makes complete sense to build those on a public cloud environment. And AWS was the one that the company chose since its founding.
Makes sense. And we've talked about where you guys fit within the media and entertainment ecosystem, and you guys are baked into the cloud. Are there any other cloud technologies other than yours, whether other ISV partners or some cloud technologies at AWS that you're finding especially interesting right now?
So other cloud technologies that are very interesting, yes, for sure. There's a lot out there.
Indeed.
And what's interesting about where Cloudinary sits, so Cloudinary, we go very, very deep on the media assets. So we're definitely, our expertise is around images, videos, and other content types, whether it be 3D, AR, VR, 360 video. We can go deep into all of those areas, optimizing them, creating them, modifying them. What's interesting about Cloudinary, though, is that we also can connect to other services that you may build around that content. So, for example, your CMS or e-commerce platform, or even your product information management system, or your marketing automation tool, or your social tools that are connecting to other places where you're publishing the content, essentially. And for me, what's really interesting right now is to see the changes happening in the digital experience platform space. And I know that's a broad term, but from a high level, it's all about the end user's experience as they come into your product and your services and delivering a catered experience for them. And there's different ways that you can essentially drive towards that experience for the end user. There's companies you can go to that have digital experience platforms, and they can sell you services, whether it be e-commerce, a CMS, a DAM even, or PIM, like all these other services. What's really interesting right now, what's really resonating that I see in the market right now is this concept of leveraging the best of breed service for your use case. And leveraging these microservices, API-driven services, and incorporating those into your architecture to meet the exact use case that you're trying to achieve, basically. And there's all sorts of companies that we're working with right now, at least from a partnership standpoint, from an integration standpoint. And a lot of these are coming from our customers. We're seeing that demand from our customers, so it's really compelling right now. And what I mean is, it's companies like Contentful that we're working with. There's Content Stack, there's Magnolia, there's Commerce Tools, and Netlify, Algolia. I mean, all of these are really interesting. They use the term headless services, microservices as well. They're driving some really unique value, and they go deep in certain areas, just like we go deep in the media area. So there's really a natural alignment there, and it's really interesting. And it's fun, actually, to see customers pull these different technologies together to meet the actual use case that they're trying to achieve. So there's a lot there. There's a lot to learn there. There's different systems out there. There's different names for these. There's Jamstack, there's Maka. There's so much happening in this space right now. And it's actually quite exciting, actually. And we're right in the middle of it, because we are a headless API-driven microservice, essentially. You can look at us that way.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And you said headless CMS. I have a white paper that we wrote on the concept of an AWS-based headless CMS. I think you may find interesting. We've done a bake-off too recently for a customer in terms of looking at different platforms. But we can certainly follow up with that later. We've been sort of in a bubble right now, enjoying technology in that conversation. But the coronavirus is in full force, and it looks like it's going to be coming back a number of places. What do you think the impact of coronavirus will be on the media and entertainment industry over the next 12 months or so?
Sure. I mean, so we're definitely seeing, from an impact standpoint, I would say there's a lot of positive impact, at least, in our business and in general that we're seeing from a media and entertainment standpoint. First of all, usage is definitely going up dramatically. I think we've seen almost a 2.5x increase in the amount of just video traffic on our platform this year. So there's certainly with more people working from home, with more people needing to get information, they're going online to get that information. There's certainly a lot of good elements there coming out of it. I would say what's really interesting as well is that I think there's, when we talk about media and entertainment and we talk about coronavirus, I think there's a lot of thinking that goes around long form content. People that I talk to, they start thinking about watching
movies, TV
shows, and everything online, basically. What's also interesting is that we're working with customers on short form content as well. And what's interesting is you look at services like a TikTok, say, for example, and these are very, very short, quick experiences that a lot of users, and it's a very popular service, obviously, today. But companies trying to figure out how do we, embrace that type of experience where we can get our message, to our audience in that same way, a very short, condensed, period of time, but also high value. And how do we then influence them to watch more? How do we influence them to come and buy our product, or whatever the case may be? And even leverage those systems to help generate conversions, to help drive conversions for them as well. So looking at ways, to use things like shoppable video, and stuff like that. So there's, I would say, it's a very interesting time. We know that there's more users, coming in line, but I also think how different companies are adapting to those trends in the market with respect to what services are popular, how are consumers consuming the data, today, and videos today, and then how do you take advantage of that? How do you work more towards that type of experience and drive that type of experience, but do it in such a way that drives the results that you're looking for? This is what we're looking at, with our customers, helping them drive these very powerful, engaging experiences, which is what more users have to have now because they're at home. They're shopping for products at home, and they need a way to see the products and understand and get a good feel for, what they are like from home. And so this is where we're helping. And there's still a lot of companies that need to evolve, with this in the next 12 months, basically. So that's, it's not easy either. So it's a challenge that we're helping solve.
Well, if we were to look at go a little bit bigger and say, what's the impact of cloud going to be on business over the next 3 years? Do you have a crystal ball you can look into for us?
Sure, as good as anyone else's crystal ball, I guess. So what's interesting, I think, about cloud, and I think about the times that we're working in today or living in today, there's certainly more and more activity happening online. There's more services that are being brought up online. There's more services that are even transitioning online as well. What's interesting right now is to see how different trends that are happening just this year continue beyond the pandemic. Hopefully we get through this pandemic as quickly as possible with the vaccine, we just get through this as fast as possible.
Yeah.
But beyond that, what will happen? So thinking about a lot of end users, or even workers, in the work environment, are getting used to working from home. We're getting used to I've heard the term work from anywhere now. And it's interesting to see how that continues beyond this, the pandemic, basically. I kind of think there will be more companies who embrace that. We're already seeing companies embrace a work from anywhere, work from home model, or the option to work from home with Twitter and Reddit, and other companies just embracing that model. And there's some companies who already embrace it right from the beginning, right? Like Automatic, for example. So I think with that, though, if you see more demand for more users working from anywhere, it's going to drive more services, whether it be SaaS services, whether it be other video conferencing technologies. Zoom is obviously all the rage right now, but we're also using other services that are helping us collaborate all from home. So we're using a company called Mural, say, for example, as a way to brainstorm and whiteboard, say, ideas, but you're doing it online. So I do think that we'll, if that trend continues, if that, we continue to see companies embrace that, we'll see other services like that start to flourish and other end users start to use them. So it's actually a quite exciting time for anybody who is in this space, whether they're be working on a SaaS platform or just working on any sort of cloud technology. It's a great time because it's certainly not going away, and I only see more and more adoption for it in the future as well.
That's fascinating. And hopefully there will be maybe a better face-to-face interview tool that will be put together. It's funny, the video quality on these is ironically not the best, but we'll have to figure out what we can pull together and make happen. So the last easy breezy question: if somebody wants to get in touch with you or with Cloudinary to learn more about your products or services, where would they go?
Sure. So for Cloudinary specifically, anybody can go to cloudinary.com where we have access to a free account on Cloudinary. You can get a perpetual free license on Cloudinary. So you can definitely register there. And all of our free accounts come with support as well. So if you want to get in touch with Cloudinary, there are ways to open tickets and get in touch. For me personally, I'm also available on LinkedIn. If anybody would like to talk more or reach out, you can find me on LinkedIn as well.
Great. Gary, thank you so much for your time.
Joaquin, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun.